Hello everyone, and what is going on? Hyperion-Blue-GT here. It's here and putting up to have a brand new content update on Gran Turismo 7 in version 1.46. Two new cars with manufacturer brands are now being welcomed, and plus the return of the Chevrolet Chevelle SS is now being appeared as well. But it looks like we got some very good interesting new vehicles and new details to have the Sakota Vision Gran Turismo, and the Althea prototype is now being introduced to the game. But looks like the detail is about to go explained with some new features are about to go implemented. Two of them is now being available at the Brand Central, and one for the Chevelle SS 454 Sport Coupe 1970 is now being sold at the Legend Car dealership. There's going to be having some 3 new events on Vision Gran Turismo Trophy at Grand Valley Highway 1, followed by American FR Challenge 550 at Trail Mountain Circuit Reverse Direction, and of course, the Japanese Clubman Cup 550 will go additional at Osage Village Reverse. And here is one extra menu is now available for number 38 for a collection is Ferrari 12-cylinder engine on collector level 38 and above. New set of conversation with car designers and characters appearing in the cafe. These new conversation can be accessed by changing to the following cars in garage and speaking with the characters in the cafe. Ed Wilhelm for the 1970 Chevy Chevelle SS, Freeman Thomas on the Volkswagen Beetle Group 3, Hideo Kamada on the Alfa Romeo 8C Competizione 2008, Aston Martin DB3S 1953, Tom Matano in the 1988 Toyota Supra 3.0 GT Turbo A. There's going to be having some 2 new museum selection on Sakota, which is now being welcomed to have a single Czech Republic manufacturer brand is now being labeled on the European selection, and Althea in Japan. But plus, there's going to be having some new set of engine swap will be available on collector level 50 and above to have some 5 compatible road car and 2 Group 4 cars like the Bugatti Veyron Group 4 and Honda NSX Group 4. Also, for having a C7 CR1 engine is now being matched and compatible for the first generation Corvette 1958 and the second generation Corvette Stingray Sport Coupe 1963. And for the last one is the 2017 Lexus LC500. Scape has now been featured to be located is now being introduced on San Diego. It's about time to have a very good scene at the background for another location in California. But adding up with the support for the following racing wheel controller is the Fanatec Gran Turismo DD Extreme. Button settings can be configured from Option, Controller, and the Fanatec GT-DD Pro Extreme. Other kinds of features are now being fixed and various other issues has been addressed. So let's go over to the world map and have a good look to be available at the hot price to have one best Chevelle SS since Gran Turismo 4. For only one muscle car from the past, and 2 of them in the 21st century is now being well embraced and have a very good experience to have some 2 new rides plus one old classic muscle car to be featured to have a good price on 163,000 Gran Turismo credit. But the performance point is now being default by 472.64 that has a displacement of 7,443 cc. Drivetrain is a FR, 449 horsepower / 5500 RPM. Aspiration type is naturally aspirated. But very good to have a cranberry red is now being introduced for only a single body color, and let's learn more the detail about the Chevelle SS 454. The 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS was Chevrolet's midsize muscle car. The optional LS6 engine provides plenty of performance, even for a car as big as this. The 7.4-liter 454 engine was given increased compression, high-lit cams, and special cylinder heads. Its power rating of 450 horsepower was likely the highest catalog output for any American car at the time. It was an incredible street machine that could easily surpass 500 horsepower with very little tuning. Yep, the Chevelle SS has a very good special kind of a muscle car, was debuted in the 1970s and very well succeeded to have a classic muscle car just like the Chevy Camaro SS. I'll have to buy this muscle car and give it a purchase because one road car is very well to be embraced to have a good register to the car index. But I just really love to get a good hands on that Chevelle SS. Is an all-time fan favorite for every Chevy fans and Gran Turismo players since GT4 back from 2004. But 20 years later, it has a very good fully premium detail view for the first time ever. But I can hardly wait to test this bad boy out. It's very good, old-fashioned, and well nostalgia about American classic muscle car. So let's go to the brand central and let's have a good look to have some very good interesting on two brand new manufacturer brand. For the first time ever to see a Czech Republic manufacturer brand is now being welcomed to the Gran Turismo series for the first time ever. But only one Vision GT car is very much more indeed to have a very good interesting to be highlighted and have a good brand session in Czech Republic. So feast your eyes on this one, you guys. Skoda is now being introduced to have a tagline title, "We will help the world live smarter." Established in 1895, which is located in Mladá Boleslav, Czech Republic. Two of them are the founders who built this brand to have these kinds of classic cars and putting up with a single Vision Gran Turismo car. But take a good look to have a good scene of the cutscene is very much more out of its mind. Wow! This is so pretty amazing to have a good look to have one Vision GT car as now being welcomed to the game. But it doesn't show a displacement, it has a drivetrain with an all-wheel drive, 1071 horsepower without a single number of an RPM, and its electric vehicle is now being put up on the aspiration type. But the two colors will have to explain the details and learn more about the Skoda Vision GT. Founded in 1895, Skoda is an established automaker with almost 130 years of history. Active in motorsports since its early days, the company has competed in countless races and rallies. Skoda's first Vision Gran Turismo was a single-seat electric vehicle inspired by its racing history. Its design paying homage to the 1100 OHC, which competed at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1957. An all-wheel electric drive car, its 4 motors for each wheel, boasted a combined output of 800 kilowatts, 1072 horsepower. The two liveries that adorn its carbon monocoque chassis each has a story to tell. While one used the 1970 Rally Free 130 RS as its monolith, the other takes inspiration for the Vision 7S, a concept car unveiled in 2022. Sweet! This concept car is being well-based and inspired by the OHC 1100 from the 24 Hours of Le Mans, but it has a carbon green and its livery is very much more impressive to take a good look. Awesome and will embrace to have a Vision GT car for the first time ever from the Czech manufacturer brand. But I'll have to go with this livery and purchase to have a 1 million Gran Turismo credit. But I can hardly feel it because it may be featured to have a different special racing outfit when using this Vision Gran Turismo car along with some other manufacturer brands to be part of the Vision GT project. But that is going to be quite good and will embrace it to see this kind of an electric car is now being considered as a road-going type to be debuted in the lap time challenge. But good to have Skoda to be welcomed to the Gran Turismo family for the first time ever by the debut. Now let's go to Asia Pacific and have a good look on Afeela, Sony Honda Mobility. This brand itself was established in September 28, 2022, which is located in Tokyo, Japan. Ever since when the video from January 2024 is now being debuted with this kind of a one prototype race car made by Afeela. The car type is a real car and electric car altogether, but it doesn't show a displacement and horsepower which is considered as a classified, but the drivetrain is going to be well usual unlike all the other electric cars to be listed as an all-wheel drive. But the aspiration type is electric vehicle. But it doesn't show one title on the base color to be considered as a gray. Got to learn more the details about the Afeela Prototype 2024. Afeela is Sony and Honda's ever-evolving vision of the future of mobility. A prototype of the car was unveiled in early 2024 at CES, the world's largest aftermarket trade show. The name of the car was the Afeela Prototype 2024. It employed the latest sensing technology and AI to expand the possibilities of movement. This includes features that optimize a natural driving experience. It also acts like a personal mobility agent that communicates intelligently with the driver and passengers. The media bar on the front works as an external communication device. The large dashboard display illuminates the cabin with a variety of entertainment. The future of mobility, Afeela marks a revolution in the act of movement itself. Sweet! This car comes in for free, just like the Toyota High-Medic ambulance, but I'll have to send this one to the garage and see how it goes, because one car will be going to be available and have this kind of a special racing outfit, just like all the other Vision GT cars as going by the usual. But characteristic, but very differently to see this kind of Afeela road car to be welcomed to the game. So let's check again, and looks like no price at all because the car price comes in for free. But if possible, this will have to go by 10 cars will be available by using the same Afeela for free. Now let's have a good stop by and just have to go for an errand at the GT Auto to see some custom parts for the Chevelle SS454. But I cannot believe it because everything is come true to have a fully customized muscle car to be well converted into a drag spec version. So, here are the options when using on the front and wing spoiler without using the side and the rear. It has Type A and Type B is now being well equipped and putting up to have some different characteristics when you're using the Chevelle SS454. But the wing spoiler that has a Type A, which is very much more perfectly to have a drag wing spoiler to be well using by participate in drag races when you're on driving missions. The racing items will be going by the usual if you really want to go for a roll bar cage. And here is the front grille. Just to have Type A remove the SS on the front and the Chevelle in it as well. But very much more enjoyable to see this kind of a customization option comes for less. But even perhaps I'll have to give this for one creativity to be adding up onto the UDRS Ins Protect or any kinds of two types of my fan art liveries like Total Drama and Dispenser Camp fan art liveries. Time to go to the scapes and let's see how it goes for having a good location on San Diego, where California began. It has 19 locations to be located anywhere around on San Diego, but this one over here is the parking building, Harbor Drive, another parking building, Mission Beach, the San Diego Convention Center, Cabrillo National Monument, Gaslamp Quarter, Harbor Drive, Shoreline Park, another parking building, and this one over here is the County Administration Center. but this is much more out of its mind and have all kinds of different background location. But man, every California always loves San Diego, but I just really love San Diego to be part of the state of California. Then let's have a good choose of the different location to have this part of the spot on number 14. Got to be prepared to shoot, have everything to go be creative. Okay, just going to go by last use. Choose any kinds of different road car or race car whenever I want. But how about I'll have to grab and choose any of my kinds of road cars with the UDRS in Sportec, just like my 2009 Corvette CR1 6th generation and the Land Evo 9. Just have one Corvette supercar and the Land Evo 9. Okay, just have to go by background blurry. Just make it something snazzy and good spotlight. But very good scene on the very good scene on the US carrier bleed is much more beautiful to have a good very much more seen for the US carrier is now being served as a landmark monument. Time to go shoot, rendering, and make it more original pizzazz. That should be good enough, and save the photo to the library later on, and that should be it for only one introduction for another part of the scenes. But whenever you have to stop by on San Diego for vacation, just to let you guys know, because any kinds of souvenirs to go taking a very much more important trip before the summer season begin. Now, let's have a good look on extra menu for the update. 3 kinds of Ferrari with a 12-cylinder engine after number 37 on Jaguar. But here it is. These kinds of 12-cylinder engines on the Ferrari 365 GTB 1971, Testarossa 1991, and the LaFerrari 2013. Collect some Ferrari powered by a 12-cylinder engine an engine company has been using to power its cars since its very beginnings. 6-star roulette ticket is very much more highly advanced rare to get these kinds of 3 Ferrari road cars that have a very good collection. But Ed Wilburn is here, so I'll have to give it one explained detail about the Chevelle SS. The 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS is one of the most masculine cars of the muscle car era. Everything about it says power from bulging shape and its muscular benders to its power dome, cowl induction hood. I liken the big block Chevelle SS to an animal ready to pronounce. Wow, that was fascinating. Thanks. Don't mention it. I'd love to talk to you again sometime. Well, until then. Such inspiration for the Chevelle SS is a big boy muscle car. But it's about time to get ready to do a test run and heading up to Laguna Seca for a rundown reunion 20 years ago. But talk about having a good nostalgia from Gran Turismo 4, and I'll have to do for only one time trial to get things started for a practice. Until then, 2 concept cars will be going around to be explored on any location at Europe and Asia Oceania. So let's do a time trial and go for daytime by the afternoon and test this big boy out on the Chevelle SS. We'll give it a very good proud muscle car American type. We'll be embrace it and find a good line to see how it goes. For many Chevy Chevelle fans who really love about the muscle car, it has a good potential and characteristic to be taking on with some other American muscle cars, including the Camaro C28 1969. But talk about for only one good, excellent, stunning look to have this interior view for the first time ever to have a good sight of realistic. The sound of the engine is pretty much more highly enhanced and felt like going by the realistic is doing well indeed. But I'll have to do one lap and just have to go for the rest we'll be doing on Will Car by concept. But talk about having this segment to go for the past and the present to go forward and beyond in the future. Got to take turn 2 on the adrenaline hairpin. Got to keep it nice and slow. Just listen whenever you hear the sound of that muscle car to go with naturally aspirated. See what I mean? It's very good and much more realistic to go for a stock muffler to be well here to have a nice sound of a V8 engine, or talk about to do some differences to be characteristic with some standard of engine. Got to going up towards the Rural Straight. The tire compound is being set by Comfort Medium. Okay, already in on the Rural Straight. Time to hit this corkscrew. Take it nice and slow and be very gentle. Okay, very good, and much more decent to keep a good concentration to test the Chevelle SS is your own kind of a favorite muscle car for all Chevy fans. And for the last turn on turn 11, just keep it nice and slow, going gentle. Just stay on the first gear to go up on gear number 2. Okay, that's a good run by average in 1 minute, 53.368 seconds. Now that's what I call the Chevelle of a muscle car coming back is now being as returned. So let's exit and just have to go for the best time to pause this, and total time I took is 2 minutes, 11.951 seconds. Here is the three sectors to be highlighted on the green on number 1, 29.509 seconds, along with sector 2, 51.199 seconds, and third sector, 32.660 seconds. But it turns out to be a very much different than the lap time challenge. Is going to have to take that final outcome on the result to be well prepared and prior to have this one. But good eyesight on the capture thumbnail image, but I'll have to say both of them with original and best lap. Just to let you guys know, because the Chevelle SS will be doing more likely to be entered on the lap time challenges in the later future, because of the Skoda Vision Gran Turismo is going to be more likely to be take place after the KTM Expo R at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. That's one car tested to be appraised, and I kind of like it because as a Chevy fan, it gives a 5-star rating, is very much more remarkable and will succeed to give a good, much more American average. When racing on Laguna Seca, this will be doing a challenge to have the Chevelle SS. We'll give it a go and purchase on 3 different types of sports compound tires. But I'm very sure of it because I might have to be well prepared to have a challenge to go for a practice and have an ordinary race. So let's do on American FR Challenge 550 and give it a much more competitive challenge to go road going average and test out to see the Chevelle SS will embrace it and drive like a real big boy for all muscle cars in every Chevy brand. Alright, so when it comes to have some very good title of a muscle car, FR American is the best oversteer. We'll have to keep it much more counter effect to see how it turns out and do 1-2 lap challenges in the same location. But hopefully, if I had to be well prepared to have one Dodge Viper GTS 2002 on Daniel Solis, which is of course position number 2. Got to make sure to go on Sports Soft tires and give it a real American challenge. I'll have to buckle up. Rolling start on the 10th position, and I'm about to go for one school of muscle car racing. Okay, gonna have to keep a good pass on the Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. Keep it slow. Very much more quite confident to be climbing up with some other American muscle car. But there goes the Dodge Charger. Got to take it nice and slow. Going clear on turn number 3. Good pass on another Firebird Trans Am. Now for the Ford Mustang Mach 1. And it's very big boy moment to see the Chevelle is putting up to have a good horsepower by nearly 500 horsepower for speed. By the transmission, it comes in with a 4-speed transmission, has now been well included to go vintage and has some old-fashioned to see how the Chevelle will give it much more time to get back on the track. But very yet so, I just really might have to go for a challenge to have this one to be set on weekly. Got to keep it careful on the 2015 Ford Mustang GT. Got a good eye on Nicholas Rubiller. Aboard the contact. Good clear overtake. Okay, that's very good enough. Clear from turn 11. Now for the final push on lap number 2. So it used to become as a standard car from Gran Turismo 5 and Gran Turismo 6. But here in Gran Turismo 7 has now actually to be featuring with a fully premium detailed view for the first time ever to have this kind of steering wheel and realistic to have these kinds of good different texture. But more or less, I kind of like about the Chevelle SS is a top dog of all Chevy muscle cars for the 1970s, along with the Camaro SS and the C28 counterpart. But hopefully, the same car is being well debuted from the Crew Motorfest to become as a street racing model. So almost there on A. Felix and Daniel Solis. The Camaro always has a good effort of defense when the Dodge Viper goes on offense. Got to keep it careful on the corkscrew. Got to keep it steady up. Avoid the contact on the Viper. And coming down before it approaches onto the final sector to overtake the C28 Camaro. Alright, the duo of the Chevy muscle cars are being reunited. And for the final stretch is now being well placed for a new set of the faster record on 1 minute, 47.510 seconds will go update to be achieved by the podium. But there you go. First place for the Chevelle SS is now being well styled and will embrace the red. The big boy is now being well succeed in first place. That should be a very good excellent moment out there to have a muscle car to be set and will participate on the lap time challenge by the upcoming and weekly challenge as well. But the total time is 3 minutes, 32.890 seconds, and fastest lap time I took is 1 minute, 45.380 seconds. Yep, it sure does when muscle cars always have some old-time favorites from the past Gran Turismo games and just have to come out from the retirement and go for a rundown reunion. But don't forget folks, there might be some more other kinds of upcoming 3 cars for the next month update because 2 concept and a classic muscle car what we want to do. Just have to zoom in for a capture thumbnail image and leave by saving a replay. So for only a 2-part conclusion to have the Chevelle SS at Laguna Seca for the time trial and American FR Challenge 550. I would say new ways for experience with concept cars in the year 2024. So let's go to Asia Oceania and stop by at Tokyo Expressway. We'll do the nighttime to be well tried out and see how you can handle this to be driving and go smooth and style to be using with the Althea Prototype 2024. Got to go on time trial, choose any layouts. I'll have to go by south clockwise on Tokyo Expressway. Nighttime, here I come, and see how it turns out very perfectly to go drive mode and well preparation to have a single one-make category to be well exclusive, or if possible to be using on custom race will be challenging with some other kinds of road cars. But not to mention, it also might have the same different characteristic type from other kinds of Vision Gran Turismo cars and two Tesla models. But I'll have to find out, and perfect on the nighttime as you may ever see from the trailer about the Althea Prototype 2024. I kinda like about a brand new kind of a prototype which is not yet to be official by release. However, it'll have to be by having a full final production to be coming out in Japan on 2025 and then Europe and America in 2026. But take a good look to this interior view style, which is very much more highly realistic and self-driving expertise. What I kind of like about the Althea is a very good mobility to be driving in the future. Very much more impressive, and other kinds of features to be having some different options, or even of course to be watching the Gran Turismo movie to have this car whenever you have to go anywhere. But that is much more electric vehicle to go cruising around on the urban cities, open road, or just have to bring it onto the racetrack and see how you can drive very well to find a good line. Just having some self-driving mobility without it, because only one driver can handle it, and that is very much more impressive to see this kind of electric vehicle which is still in progress. But this concept car, which is classed as a prototype vehicle, is very much more important to have some specifications and some few other changes might have to go by preparation before the final production car is now being set to be official in public. But everybody think about the Althea road car is being well designed to be drivable on any places and very much more collaboration with Honda. First time ever to see how Sony is officially designed a prototype concept car with the help of Honda has now actually to be included to have an electric vehicle for the first time ever. Now gonna take it nice and slow. Just have to go anywhere and just have to go different lane. But I'm always had to be well drive to be honest. Here comes the first lap to be finishing up. Now entered lap number 2. Very much more indeed to have this kind of an interior because it shows the time was 5:43 p.m. on Tokyo. But however, time zones does matter to go anywhere when using the Althea as a prototype road car. Okay, next turn on the left, onward in sector 2. Just brake in, just drive like a normal civilian. Okay, just have to keep that good mobility up and have the next turn on the left. I've always had to go by courtesy example to drive anywhere and go cruising anywhere. Well, it takes experience without using assistant to drive this car. But I kind of say because the range and electric is now putting up to have some decreased power and just have to keep it much more modest to go decrease when charging up the battery. Unlike Tesla or other kinds of electric vehicle is now being put up in full production as a complete edition. But still yet, it'll have to take some years of development to have this kind of a road car to be coming out by next year. Okay, detour on the chicane. But the exterior style is very much more impressive to have an out-of-its-mind self-driving mobility to go anywhere. But I kind of say because with a collaboration of Honda to have this Avia to be added to the game, but it can have to go anywhere to be participate on various events, or you can have to do on one-make category. But after all, electric cars is the new age of 21st century for this day. So just have to go exit by now, and here is the best time average on the faster in 1 minute, 57.573 seconds for only 2 laps with over 2 minutes. But yet, courtesy of self-driving example between the driver and AI altogether to have a good bonded partnership, or just have to go anywhere on places to have some main places of interest. Looks cool by the way, but I just really love this kind of electric sedan car. Is being well mobility, and special thanks to Sony to have this very first ever electric car in the game. But first things first, just have to go capture thumbnail image to be pausing right here. Closing in, and there you go. One good sightseeing view in nighttime, and very well realistic. But don't worry folks, I just took for only my free time to go update by the record in the same minute and 57 seconds to go by a decimal in 0.520 seconds. But after all, just have one replay for another to have this one to go by current placement onto my diary log. So, with car number 2 is being well done to be checked and complete by having a test, the next one will go to Le Mans to have a very good, best interesting to have a Chess Vision Gran Turismo car on the Skoda Vision GT. But alternately or original to be pronounced as Skoda. Changing up the car, and let's see how it feels more excitement and very well drivable to have that total driving workout on 18.9 miles. Well, in that case, take a good look for this different kind of a racing outfit, as I'm about to be ready might need to have a next one after when using the Avia prototype 2024. And there you go, 4-star roulette ticket has acquired. Just only 1 day, and the third one will have to wait before embrace it, drive well, and see how it goes potentially to have a one chess spirit to go all in. By having 2 different kinds of versions with a green monocoque and the livery itself, but Le Mans is the best time to go calling in and have the full course to go test it by the afternoon. But if possible, I just really love to see a single seat electric road car is now being classed as a characteristic of a race car. Different kinds of Skoda elements for only one 1100 race car since the 1960s of the 24 hours of Le Mans, or even it's so because the brand still exists in over 100 years by added with 30. But it takes 130 years for the brand itself has still putting up with some different unique of race car and rally based vehicle for this day. So up I go. And let's have a good look for this interior view for having a good side check. And wow! I kind of say this is far beyond to have this kind of a technology to see this kind of a road car that characterized as a race car. But I know how the HUD is putting up to have something very surprised to be additional. This is very beyond as a futuristic race car. But you may ever hear the sound of the electric car is quite very revving up to the limit. I kinda say it's very cool, and it also shows for the traction to be introduced. I kinda say this is very high tech on racing technology. Got to figure this out and see how the features might be surprising to see how it turns. Okay, so it also to be using on hazard lights whenever you see it without using with this kind of the HUD. But very much more cool, and it also shows to have an intercom on Team 1. But listen to the sound of the electric engine. Sounds beyond and excellent to be awesome, viewers. Now going in by the Daytona chicane. Keep it nice and slow to go for 2 laps. I kind of say it's very more awesome and being rolled as a racing machine. Special thanks to Skoda to have this very first Vision Gran Turismo was officially unveiled in their home country. But it's going to be quite very impressive to get used to it to be set and prior to their lap time challenge. But it's already here in this update, but I'll have to take a good look after finishing up on Le Mans for a joyride of experience. When it goes up to have a good peak of the top speed, it shows 312 kilometers to be in the main effort and example to be around on 195 miles per hour. Very more indeed, and very well beyond awesome to have this futuristic concept car in the 21st century, to have the second one to become as one of the 2 manufacturer brands to be going by brand new. But how about putting up with some traction is going to be a very much interesting to see how it affected. But the brakes is now being stationed on the front in 70 and the rear on 30. But still has an all-wheel drive characteristic of electric vehicle. Okay, the traction set to be on 0. Got to take that orange after the Indianapolis. Keep that HUD stationary and go follow the trail. If I ever think about that single-seat electric race car, well, despite of the characteristic type to be still as a road car, just like the Lamborghini Lambo B12 Vision GT. Hopefully, it's now being available to have this one to be participate at Grand Valley Highway 1 for the Vision GT trophy, along with the Genesis Grand Berlin Enta and the Bulgari Aluminum Vision GT as well from 2 months ago. The handling, the performance, and the elements to have some heritage from other race cars and road cars alike. Kind of say that other features to have this kind of a concept car is more impressive to be finding a good line to be well tested on the track. So here comes the second lap. Current place by the record in 3 minutes 47.997 seconds. But how about I'll have to go faster and kick it up to go full electric gear. Got to keep it steady and watch the handling to see this kind of a driving style. Okay, just have to keep that turn tighter and hold it in. Going full straight on the get-go. So here is a good correction top speed to be on 314 kilometers and exactly by the range on 196 miles per hour. But if so, only one Vision Gran Turismo has a good founding heritage from the classic from the 20th century and putting them together to have a concept car in the 21st century. But respect Vision Gran Turismo is always what we have to learn to be element and have some discipline to be style and embrace it to see how this characteristic of driving with this kind of a concept car, and even of course to have that racing medium compound tires by default. But very well indeed to have a jet spirit is going much more competition to be well tested. I kind of say about this livery is more improvement and more like having a competition livery itself. Okay, gonna have to go by the most sane, slow down, and just have to take that right. Got to take a good look and do a 360-degree view. I kind of say that is more impressive and love about this kind of a single seat concept car. Just look at the sound of the hovering engine when racing around. But even so, the active wing spoilers is now being popped up when approaches on the turns and corners itself. Just have to go gliding around to be having a stopping hold. Just have to go around to have that straight acceleration. Now entering onto the Porsche curve for the second time. Let's give it freestyle and see the Skoda Vision GT to go handling when braking and tight turns to go on the right through the left. Much more impressive to be on the deceleration. Final sector to be around onto the Corvette curb. Good line on the apex. And final push towards the Ford chicane at the final corner. It's going to be a going surpassing record to have a new set on 3 minutes 47.997 seconds. That's 6.5 seconds, and give it a final push. Superb run and test complete. That's 3 minutes 41.322 seconds. Very good, proud of a show, obliged to see the Skoda Vision GT at Le Mans for the first time to have this one session only. And for the best time is now being claimed by having a good record on lap number 2, and total time was 7 minutes 43.502 seconds. Here's a tally up result for only one session and being well seen to be highlight separate in the green. For lap number 1 to be marked on sector 3 and 4, 30.076 seconds and 25.190 seconds on sector 3 and sector 4. And for lap number 2 on sector 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7 was 33.196 seconds, 37.915 seconds, 30.132 seconds, 30.699 seconds, and 33.856 seconds. Best time and good lap time average by the difference. Well folks, it's very more incredible to see the Skoda Vision Gran Turismo for having a first ever debut to see how you can turn well to be racing at Le Mans. But of course, two different kinds of color scheme plus a livery itself is being well needed to have this kind of a livery is very more remarkable, competitive, and style on the road car. But even so, the best lap and the regular replay to go by scene of the image after I just took a captured thumbnail image earlier. So, one more car to get back on the Afila Prototype 2024 and have a good look to have this kind of a special racing outfit. Just like the Skoda Vision Gran Turismo, but this one is very specialized when using the Afila Prototype 2024. Just like the Honda RA272 is being well characterized as a different kind of a special racing outfit. But of course, when it comes to have special car with a special racing outfit, two of them is now being welcomed to the game as well. Well, what can I say, viewers? It's a very good update to have two new manufacturers and a classic Chevelle SS has now come together. But looks like tomorrow, new set of the weekly challenges is about to go forward on week number 4 in the month of April before at the end. But one other thing about some notification received gift from sport mode, but I'll have to take a good look and I just really might have to get some 2 million Gran Turismo credit when we were at World Atlanta for the KTM Expo R. But I'm still working in development because the lap time challenge done for myself will have to wait until current outcome is now being placed on 8,234 place is now placed on the goal for only one KTM Expo R. All set, gold reward acquired, and moving on forward to have the Skoda Vision Gran Turismo will be take place at Watkins Glen International Long Course. But it was a lot of fun out there to be racing and practice at Le Mans, but hopefully I'll have to be looking forward and will participate to have the long course layout on Watkins Glen for the Skoda Vision Gran Turismo in about 13 days in 2 weeks. But one other thing about the Manufacturers Cup is coming up soon on May 8, 2024 after the Nations Cup for the 2024 online qualifiers to the GTWS. And plus, this is going to be the only moment to be started out on the first round on Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup at Suzuka Circuit for the GR86 and Subaru BRC. Talk about having my best time to go full absent for a while because I have a job to do and just have to go focusing on full walkthrough is what I need to have. So let's go back to the garage and have a good look for the card collection has now been stored and acquired for this having 3 highlight for the brand new. So let's go press the square and here is one car from the Czech Republic. Let's have a good check on the Skoda, a single seat all-wheel drive EV from the distinguished Czech manufacturer. Welcome aboard for the Skoda Vision GT to have a real car, Vision GT, and electric car all together by having a 3 type. Plus for the second one on Althea Prototype 2024, a revolutionary mobility device set to change how we spend time commuting. Move people through the pursuit of innovation with diverse inspiration. A new kind of joy in movement to inspire others. I kind of love about the Althea prototype is a good electric saloon car just like all the other kinds of 4-door sedans that have the same type with electric vehicle, but better yet of course to have that prototype is still in development until the complete version with this one will be set in public in Japan on 2025 by next year and also for Europe and America in 2026. And for the Chevelle SS 454, a massive engine that produced plenty of power made this car a favorite for drag racing. Superb and well indeed to have this muscle car to serving up and become a dragster vehicle. But I hope other Chevy fans and Gran Turismo players might need to get their hands on that Chevelle SS with custom parts will go full drag racing like going around on Special Stage Route X or Le Mans. But any place whenever you like to have this muscle car to go anywhere. So, with all kinds of 2 concept cars and a classic muscle car for only one part of the content update. But a nighttime is going to be a very good enjoyment and turns excitement with some 2 kinds of concept cars and the Chevelle SS is very more indeed. But I kind of like about the Althea prototype is very more impressive and smooth driving for only a single electric car, along with the Skoda Vision GT, which is of course to have some 2 color schemes on the monocoque green and the livery itself. I can't say because 2 kinds are being brand new and one for the return of the all-time favorite from Gran Turismo 4, as I ever said about the Chevelle SS is a big boy muscle car. So folks, I'll have to wrap this up before at the end of the video because I'll have to get myself prepared and continue on to have the full walkthrough on License Center to go for the National B license and Master to go for Driving Style 101 Basic to go in 2.0. But even of course, more practice, more exam, and well trained to be disciplined to get yourself prepared after having 5 sessions on the normal license exam. So thank you for enjoying watching the video on Gran Turismo 7. I hope you enjoyed. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel for a like, comment, then click the bell for notification on upcoming content videos if you'd like to see. Follow me on DeepNetArt, Instagram, Twitter, GT Planet, Patreon, Discord, and more social media platforms. And don't forget to check it out, all of my screenshot images on UDRS Insportec, Vision Total Drama, and DreamArt Livery Style Dispenser presented by myself, Hyperion-Blue-GT, as you may ever welcome at any time. I'll be seeing you guys next time on Gran Turismo 7, and I look forward to see you again in the next video. Keep on racing, stay clean.